Have you ever felt trapped by old habits, fears, or limitations in your life? Do you believe that you can free yourself from these old binds and live a more liberated life? It's a powerful question, isn't it? Many of us have experienced moments in our lives where we felt stuck, as though invisible chains were holding us back from becoming who we truly want to be. Whether it's repeating the same unhealthy habits, being held back by fear of failure, or feeling confined by past mistakes, it's easy to feel like we're in a constant loop of limitations. But what if I told you that you can break free from these old bindings and create a life filled with freedom, growth, and possibility? Being freed from all old bindings means letting go of the things that no longer serve us, the patterns of thought and behavior that keep us trapped in the past. These bindings are the negative beliefs we hold about ourselves, the fears that prevent us from stepping out of our comfort zones, and the limiting mindsets that tell us we can't move forward. It's about realizing that these old constraints, whether they're based on past experiences or self-doubt, don't have to define our future. Embarking on a journey to find freedom is about acknowledging that we have the power to change how we think, feel, and act. It's about shedding the weight of past failures and stepping into a new, empowered version of ourselves. This journey involves not only overcoming fear and self-doubt, but also embracing new, healthier habits, fostering positive self-beliefs, and adopting a mindset that aligns with growth and possibility. The central message of this video is simple yet profound. We can free ourselves from what holds us back. By changing our mindset, taking positive actions, and shifting the way we perceive life, we can unlock the freedom that's always been inside of us. It's about making intentional decisions every day to live a life of purpose, where we're no longer controlled by the past, but empowered by the choices we make in the present. Freedom starts with a decision to break free from the chains of our own making and embrace a life of limitless potential. Today, we'll explore how to start that process, step by step. Are you ready to free yourself from your old bindings and live a more liberated life? Let's begin the journey together. We all experience moments in our lives when we feel trapped or stuck. These moments may manifest as a sense of being held back from achieving our dreams, or simply feeling as though we're unable to change or grow. What causes these feelings of being bound? To answer that, we need to explore the key factors that create these limitations: habits, fears, and limiting beliefs. One of the strongest forces that bind us is our habits. Habits are patterns of behavior that, while initially serving a purpose, can become so ingrained that they hold us captive. Think about a habit you've been trying to break, like procrastination or unhealthy eating. Even though these habits may not serve us anymore, we tend to repeat them because they are comfortable, familiar, and easy. Habits create a sense of predictability in our lives, and this predictability often feels safe, even if it's preventing us from moving forward. The brain's tendency to favor comfort and familiarity plays a major role in keeping us bound by our habits. Neuroscience has shown that the brain tends to seek out repetition because it requires less mental effort. So, if you've been living with certain patterns for years, breaking free from them can feel like a monumental task. However, the good news is that habits can be changed. By being intentional and consciously choosing to replace unhealthy habits with ones that serve our growth, we can free ourselves from these bindings. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions that keeps us bound. We often fear failure, judgment, rejection, or the unknown, and these fears can stop us from pursuing new opportunities. Fear keeps us in our comfort zones, preventing us from taking risks or making the changes that would propel us forward in life. Whether it's a fear of failing at a new job, a fear of not being good enough, or even the fear of leaving behind a relationship that no longer serves us, fear can feel like an invisible force that stops us from growing. The challenge with fear is that it often manifests as self-doubt. We start doubting our abilities, questioning our worth, or worrying about the opinions of others. These thoughts can lead to paralysis, making it difficult to take action, even when we know that we should. In truth, fear is a natural emotion. It's part of being human. But when we let fear control our lives, it becomes a barrier to our freedom. Facing fear head-on and gradually stepping outside of our comfort zones can help us break free from its grip. Perhaps the most insidious force that binds us is our limiting beliefs, the false ideas we hold about ourselves and our potential. These beliefs often stem from our upbringing, past experiences, or societal conditioning. For example, we may believe that we're not smart enough, not attractive enough, or not capable of achieving our goals. These limiting beliefs create self-imposed walls that prevent us from pursuing what we truly want in life. What makes them particularly dangerous is that we often don't realize we have them. They operate in the background, influencing our decisions and actions, often without our conscious awareness. Limiting beliefs can be deeply ingrained, making them hard to identify and challenge. However, once we become aware of them, we can begin to reframe our thinking. By questioning these beliefs and replacing them with more empowering thoughts, we can start to free ourselves from the mental cages we've created. The first step is to identify the negative beliefs we hold about ourselves and then consciously work on changing them. In addition to internal factors, culture and society play a significant role in how we feel bound. From the moment we're born, we're influenced by the expectations and norms of the societies we live in. Cultural values, family expectations, and societal pressures often shape our beliefs about what is acceptable or desirable, influencing our behavior, choices, and even our self-worth. Society has a way of shaping our views of success, happiness, and fulfillment. We're often taught that there's a specific way to live: go to school, get a job, get married, have children, and retire comfortably. While this path may work for some, for many others, these societal expectations can feel restrictive. Society often sets up an ideal or a norm that we are expected to follow, leaving little room for deviation. If we stray from this path, whether in our career, relationships, or personal goals, we may feel judged or marginalized. Cultural norms can limit our creativity and individuality. For example, some cultures place a high value on academic achievement and traditional careers, while others may prioritize family values above personal aspirations. These societal pressures can make us feel as though we must live up to the ideals set by others, rather than defining our own success and happiness. The result is that we suppress our true desires and passions to conform to what others expect of us. Our families and communities also play a powerful role in shaping our lives. From a young age, we're taught what's acceptable and expected of us by those around us. Family traditions, values, and beliefs often become ingrained in us, shaping our decisions and actions as we grow older. However, when these family or community expectations conflict with our personal desires or goals, they can feel like a weight we must carry. For example, a person may feel bound by family expectations to follow a certain career path or marry within a specific cultural or religious tradition. While family influence is important, it can sometimes create inner conflict when personal aspirations don't align with these expectations. This struggle can leave individuals feeling torn between honoring their family's wishes and pursuing their own dreams, which can make them feel stuck or bound by obligation. In the modern world, social media has created an environment where comparison is rampant. We are constantly exposed to other people's lives, often filtered and edited to showcase only the best moments. This can create unrealistic standards of beauty, success, and happiness, leading to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. The pressure to conform to these ideals can make us feel as though we are falling short, even if we are doing our best. Comparison is one of the biggest sources of feeling bound. It leads us to believe that we should be living life in a certain way, achieving certain milestones by certain ages, or having certain experiences to be worthy. This pressure can hold us back from embracing our true selves and pursuing the path that feels authentic to us. Breaking free from societal and cultural expectations requires us to define our own success and live in alignment with our values, not the standards set by others. Finally, The most powerful bindings often come from within, from our own inner self and psychology. Our fears, insecurities, and negative thought patterns can keep us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. A lack of self-confidence is one of the most common internal barriers that prevent us from moving forward. When we don't believe in our abilities or worth, we hold ourselves back from pursuing new opportunities. Self-doubt leads to indecision, hesitation, and fear of failure, which prevents us from taking the necessary risks to achieve our goals. To break free from this barrier, we must start by cultivating a positive self-image and learning to trust ourselves. Self-affirmation, practicing gratitude, and celebrating small wins can help build confidence and encourage us to take action. Fear of failure often paralyzes us, causing us to avoid challenges and opportunities that could lead to personal growth. This fear is rooted in a belief that failure defines us or makes us unworthy. Failure, however, is not the end. It is often a stepping stone to success. Reframing failure as a learning opportunity rather than a final judgment can help us release the fear that holds us back. The reality is that everyone experiences setbacks, and the most successful people are those who persist despite their failures. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy, the belief that they are not enough or not deserving of success and happiness. These feelings are often based on comparisons to others or childhood experiences that led to a diminished sense of self-worth. To overcome these feelings, we must work on redefining our value based on who we are and what we can contribute, rather than external measures of success. Self-compassion and seeking support from others can help dismantle the feelings of inadequacy that keep us bound. In conclusion, we feel bound by a combination of external pressures and internal barriers. Our habits, fears, limiting beliefs, societal expectations, and feelings of inadequacy all contribute to this sense of being stuck. However, once we recognize these bindings, we can begin the process of freeing ourselves by changing our mindset, taking intentional actions, and creating a life that aligns with our true potential. The key to breaking free is awareness and action, recognizing what holds us back and actively choosing to live differently, with greater freedom and authenticity. By embracing change and letting go of old patterns, we can unlock the true potential that lies within us. One of the first steps toward freeing yourself from the limitations that hold you back is to recognize the old bindings in your life. These bindings are often invisible and deeply ingrained, and they can manifest as negative habits, beliefs, or external forces that prevent you from reaching your full potential. However, identifying them is the key to releasing their grip on your life. So, how do we identify these bindings? Recognizing old bindings requires self-awareness and honesty. It involves looking deeply at the patterns in your life and asking yourself tough questions like, what is holding me back from progressing? What situations or relationships make me feel stuck or drained? Where do I feel like I'm repeating the same cycle over and over? Often, these signs show up as internal resistance or external frustrations. For example, you might feel anxiety, dread, or discomfort when faced with certain situations, and that's a clear sign that something is holding you back. Alternatively, you might experience a lack of motivation or energy when pursuing goals that you know are important to you. This could be a clue that you're carrying old bindings that need to be addressed. Sometimes, old bindings are so ingrained in our daily routines that we don't even realize they exist. We often fail to question beliefs and behaviors that have been with us for years, but by recognizing these patterns, we can begin to consciously shift our behavior and open up new possibilities for ourselves. Take time to reflect on your habits, relationships, and emotional reactions, and ask yourself if they align with your true values and desires. If not, you may be dealing with bindings that need to be released. One of the most common bindings people face is professional constraints, situations in which they feel limited by their career choices, job environments, or societal definitions of success. For example, you may find yourself stuck in a job that doesn't fulfill you, but you stay because of the financial security it provides, or because it's what others expect of you. You might also be in a toxic work environment where the culture stifles creativity or personal growth. These are clear examples of external bindings that keep you from pursuing your passions or achieving your career goals. The binding here could be fear of failure, financial concerns, or even self-doubt about your worth and potential. Many people stay in jobs they don't love simply because they fear they cannot succeed elsewhere, or because they've built their identity around a particular role. These professional bindings can be incredibly limiting, especially if they prevent you from exploring other opportunities that could align more closely with your passions and values. Family is often a source of both love and stress. While most people cherish their family relationships, family obligations can become a binding when they require too much sacrifice or place too much pressure on you. For instance, you may feel obligated to follow certain family traditions or make career choices based on what's expected of you rather than your own desires. Guilt can also play a significant role here. Guilt over not meeting family expectations or prioritizing your needs over family obligations often leads individuals to remain stuck in situations that don't serve their personal growth. Overextending yourself for the sake of others can lead to feelings of resentment, burnout, or a loss of your own identity. These family constraints can also appear when you feel responsible for taking care of relatives to the point where it stifles your ability to pursue your own dreams. While love and care are important, it's also vital to establish boundaries so that you can live a life that reflects your true desires and values. Relationships, whether romantic, friendships, or even professional, can either support your growth or hold you back. Toxic relationships can be some of the most limiting bindings in your life, where you feel emotionally drained, undervalued, or stuck in unhealthy dynamics. Perhaps you've stayed in a relationship due to fear of loneliness, lack of self-worth, or a deep fear of change. Emotional dependency can be another binding. Sometimes, people stay in relationships because they don't feel capable of thriving on their own. The fear of being alone or unsupported can make individuals hold on to relationships that don't align with their growth. Over time, this dependency can prevent you from learning how to be self-sufficient and empowered. On the other hand, some people may experience reluctance to let go of old relationships, even when they recognize that these connections are no longer beneficial. Whether it's a toxic friend or an ex-partner, letting go is difficult because of the emotional attachment, comfort, or fear of judgment from others. But the longer you hold on to unhealthy relationships, the more you tie yourself to the past and prevent yourself from stepping into a healthier future. Over time, we make choices that seem right at the moment, but may no longer align with our true self. Personal beliefs that once served us may no longer apply to our current situation. For example, you may have made a decision to live in a certain place, pursue a certain career, or build a certain lifestyle based on societal expectations or past desires. But as you grow, you may realize that these decisions no longer serve your happiness or fulfillment. It could be as simple as sticking with a certain group of friends out of habit, even though their values no longer align with yours. Or, it might be staying in a relationship out of comfort or fear of the unknown, even though you've outgrown it. The bindings here are related to attachment to the past and fear of making changes, even if those changes would lead to a more fulfilling life. The key to breaking free from these types of bindings is to realize that growth often requires letting go of things that no longer serve your well-being or your journey. Making the conscious decision to release old choices and embrace new directions is a powerful way to create space for your personal development and happiness. When we are bound by old habits, limiting beliefs, societal pressures, or unhealthy relationships, they have a significant impact on our ability to grow and move forward in life. These bindings keep us stagnant, stuck in old patterns and routines. When you feel bound, there's no room for growth. You find yourself repeating the same cycle over and over, unsure of how to move forward. The energy and passion that should be directed toward growth are instead consumed by the constraints of the past. Stagnation leads to feelings of frustration and dissatisfaction, as we long for change but don't know where to begin. Bindings often lead to self-doubt and a lack of confidence. When you feel constrained by limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or unfulfilling habits, it's easy to start questioning your worth. You begin to doubt your ability to make changes or achieve the life you desire. The longer you stay in a binding situation, the more you lose sight of your own potential, and the more difficult it becomes to take steps toward freedom and growth. When you're trapped by old bindings, you may miss out on new opportunities for growth, joy, and fulfillment. Fear of the unknown, attachment to the past, and comfort in familiar routines can prevent you from taking risks, pursuing new challenges, or stepping outside of your comfort zone. As a result, you may feel like life is passing you by, or that you're unable to live up to your potential. Bindings, especially those in toxic relationships or unfulfilling work environments, can cause significant emotional and mental strain. Feeling stuck can lead to burnout, stress, and anxiety. These emotions can diminish your ability to think clearly, make confident decisions, and feel at peace with yourself. Emotional exhaustion from these bindings makes it harder to see a way out, even when opportunities for freedom are within reach. Identifying old bindings in our lives is the first crucial step toward freeing ourselves from limitations. Whether these bindings come from unhealthy habits, societal pressures, toxic relationships, or old choices, they prevent us from growing and living the life we truly desire. Recognizing these bindings allows us to make conscious decisions to break free, step by step, and live more authentically. By shedding the things that no longer serve us, we make room for personal growth, new opportunities, and a life filled with freedom and purpose. The journey toward freedom begins with the mind. Our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality, and if we are ever to break free from the old bindings that hold us back, we must start by mastering our mindset. Limiting beliefs, those deeply ingrained thoughts that tell us we aren't good enough, we can't change, or we don't deserve success, are often at the core of what keeps us stuck. These beliefs create a barrier between us and the life we want, but the good news is that our beliefs are not set in stone. We have the power to change them. Limiting beliefs are often born from past experiences, societal conditioning, or fear. They can be thoughts like, "I'm not smart enough," "I'll never be successful," or "I don't deserve love." These beliefs dictate how we approach opportunities and obstacles, often holding us back from taking action or believing in our own potential. The first step in breaking free is to recognize these beliefs for what they are: false narratives that limit your growth. Self-awareness is key to identifying limiting beliefs. Start by observing your thoughts and noticing when you have negative or self-doubting thoughts. Ask yourself, why do I think this? And is this belief true? Many times, we will find that the beliefs we hold about ourselves are based on old experiences or perceptions that are no longer relevant. Once you identify a limiting belief, the next step is to challenge it. Ask yourself if it is really true, or if it's simply a story you've been telling yourself. For example, if you believe, "I'm not good enough to succeed," ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this belief? Then counter it with positive affirmations and evidence of your capabilities. Every time you shift a limiting belief into a more empowering one, you free yourself from the old binding that held you back. The next step is to begin changing the way you think. Our thoughts directly impact our emotions, which in turn shape our actions. If you constantly think thoughts that keep you small or stuck, you'll continue to make choices that reinforce that reality. To break free, you need to shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of possibility and empowerment. Practice positive self-talk. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable of achieving this goal." Over time, repeated positive affirmations will rewire your brain and build new neural pathways, replacing negative beliefs with empowering ones. Additionally, start visualizing the life you want to create. Picture yourself living a free, confident life, and allow yourself to feel the emotions associated with that freedom. This practice of visualization will help you reprogram your mind for success and transformation. While changing your thoughts and beliefs is essential, transformation requires action. It's not enough to simply think positively or believe that change is possible. We must also take small, actionable steps to create real change in our lives. These steps may feel daunting at first, but breaking them down into manageable actions will make them feel achievable and will lead to lasting change. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when trying to make a major change in your life. The key to breaking free from old bindings is to focus on small, achievable steps that will gradually build momentum. For example, if you feel bound by an unhealthy habit like procrastination, start by setting a goal to work for 10 to 15 minutes on a project, rather than expecting yourself to work for hours. Celebrate each small victory, as it reinforces your new mindset and builds confidence. Similarly, if you feel constrained by an unfulfilling job, begin by taking small steps to explore new career opportunities. This could mean updating your resume, networking with people in your desired field, or taking an online course. Each small step will bring you closer to breaking free from the constraints of your current situation. Habits are a powerful force in our lives. They can either hold us back or propel us forward. To break free from old bindings, it's essential to begin shifting your habits, especially those that keep you stuck in negative patterns. Start with one habit at a time. Choose the habit that has the greatest impact on your life and focus on changing it first. For instance, if you're trying to break free from a habit of negative thinking, begin by replacing one negative thought with a positive one each day. It's also helpful to create new, empowering habits that reinforce your new mindset. If you want to create a life of freedom and possibility, consider integrating habits such as journaling, exercising, or practicing mindfulness into your daily routine. These activities help create a positive feedback loop, where the more you invest in your growth, the more freedom you feel. Another key area where you can take immediate action is in improving relationships that may be holding you back. Toxic or unfulfilling relationships can keep you tied to old patterns and prevent you from growing. The first step is to assess your relationships and identify those that are nurturing and supportive, and those that are draining or limiting. If there are relationships in your life that keep you stuck or are toxic, you might need to set healthy boundaries or have difficult conversations. This could mean having an honest conversation with a friend or family member about the impact of their behavior, or distancing yourself from individuals who undermine your growth. It may also involve letting go of relationships that no longer align with your values or personal growth. Breaking free from old bindings requires courage. The process of change is rarely easy, and there will always be fears and doubts that arise when you try to move out of your comfort zone. However, courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to take action despite fear. To truly liberate yourself, you must confront these fears head-on and take intentional steps to let go of old patterns that have held you back. Fear of change is one of the most common obstacles that people face when trying to break free from old bindings. Change is inherently uncomfortable, and the unknown can feel scary. But the truth is that change is necessary for growth. To begin overcoming this fear, start by acknowledging the discomfort and accepting it as part of the process. Take time to identify the specific fears you have around change. Are you afraid of failing? Are you worried about judgment or rejection? Once you understand your fears, you can begin to challenge them by asking yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Often, we fear the unknown because we don't have all the facts. By breaking down your fears and confronting them directly, you'll find that many of them are not as intimidating as they initially seemed. Old patterns can be difficult to break, especially if they have been ingrained in us for years. These patterns may be linked to unhealthy coping mechanisms, limiting beliefs, or emotional responses that no longer serve us. The process of letting go of these old patterns requires mindful awareness. Start by noticing when you fall into old patterns and make a conscious effort to interrupt the cycle. One powerful technique is to practice mindfulness, being fully present in each moment and aware of your thoughts and emotions. When you become aware of old patterns arising, use mindfulness to create space for a new response. For example, if you typically react with anger or frustration in a stressful situation, practice taking a deep breath and responding with patience instead. The more you consciously practice new patterns, the easier it becomes to replace the old ones. Finally, it's essential to create tangible changes in your life that reflect your new mindset and actions. Small, consistent steps lead to long-term transformation. Start by setting clear goals for the changes you want to make, and break them down into actionable steps. For example, if your goal is to start a new career, take practical steps like networking, building your skills, and exploring opportunities. The more you take action toward your goals, the more you reinforce your new mindset and habits. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start making changes. Remember, the path to freedom is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about creating momentum through consistent action. Breaking free from old bindings requires both mental and emotional courage. By mastering your mindset, taking small but intentional steps toward change, and confronting your fears, you can begin the journey of transformation. The more you practice shifting your beliefs and taking action, the closer you come to living a life of freedom, growth, and limitless potential. Don't wait for perfection, begin today, and you'll find that the path to freedom is more accessible than you ever imagined. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools in the journey of self-liberation. It's often seen as a simple act of kindness or reconciliation, but its true depth goes far beyond this. Forgiving yourself and others is not just an act of letting go of anger or frustration. It is a releasing of the weight of the past, a necessary step toward emotional freedom and personal growth. When we hold on to anger, resentment, or guilt, we create a kind of emotional weight that drags us down. These feelings keep us bound to past events, replaying the hurt or mistake over and over, preventing us from moving forward. By refusing to forgive, we hold ourselves in a prison of our own making. Whether it's holding a grudge against someone else, or carrying guilt or shame for something we've done, these emotions form chains that restrict our ability to live freely in the present. Forgiveness, in its true form, is about releasing those chains. It's about understanding that forgiving doesn't mean condoning wrong behavior, but it allows us to heal. By forgiving, you are giving yourself permission to release the emotional burden you've been carrying, freeing yourself from the constant weight of past wounds. Forgiveness opens up the space for growth, healing, and the ability to step into a future where you are no longer defined by the mistakes or hurts of yesterday. But forgiveness is not just about forgiving others, it's equally important to forgive yourself. Many of us are our harshest critics, holding ourselves accountable for mistakes long after they have occurred. Self-forgiveness is key to liberation because it frees us from the constant loop of guilt and self-punishment. We must recognize that making mistakes is part of being human. Forgiving yourself is about accepting that you did the best you could with the knowledge and circumstances you had at the time. When you let go of self-blame, you release the power the past has over you, enabling you to move forward and live more fully. Forgiveness can be a difficult and painful process. It often feels like a monumental task to forgive someone who has hurt us or to release ourselves from the chains of past mistakes. However, forgiveness is not something that happens instantly. It requires intentional effort and a willingness to confront emotions that might be deeply buried. The process of forgiveness can be broken down into several practical steps. The first step in forgiveness is self-awareness. You cannot forgive if you don't first recognize the emotions you are holding on to. Start by acknowledging the pain, resentment, or guilt you feel. Reflect on how these emotions have been affecting your life, your relationships, your peace of mind, your ability to move forward. Journaling can be a great tool to get in touch with your feelings, helping you to clarify what has been hurtful and why. Being honest with yourself about the pain you are holding on to allows you to begin the process of release. Once you're aware of the emotions you're holding, the next step is to confront them. Don't suppress or ignore your feelings. Confronting the emotions you've been avoiding, anger, sadness, guilt, shame, is necessary for healing. Whether you need to have a conversation with the person who hurt you, or simply express your feelings privately through journaling or even speaking aloud to yourself, the key is to allow yourself to feel. You cannot forgive if you are still suppressing the pain. If you are forgiving someone else, it may help to express how you feel to them, if possible. Sometimes, the act of telling someone how their actions hurt you can help release the grip those feelings have on you. If it's not safe or possible to express these feelings directly to the person, writing a letter that you don't send can be an effective way to release your emotions. The goal is not to hurt the other person, but to free yourself from the hold that the past has on you. Letting go of resentment is perhaps one of the most challenging aspects of forgiveness. Resentment often feels justified, especially when we have been wronged. But holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It harms only you. The person who wronged you might not even know or care that you are still angry, but your resentment keeps you trapped in the past. To forgive, you must consciously decide to release that anger. One of the most powerful ways to release resentment is to shift your perspective. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view, recognizing that they, too, are human and may have acted out of their own fears, pain, or ignorance. This doesn't justify their actions, but it can help you understand why they acted the way they did, which can make forgiveness easier. Empathy and compassion are essential elements of the forgiveness process. When we are able to put ourselves in the shoes of the other person, we create space for understanding and healing. Try to imagine what the other person might have been going through when they hurt you. This doesn't mean excusing their behavior, but rather, it allows you to see them as a person, not just as the source of your pain. Compassion for others can help release the grip of anger and open the door to forgiveness. Self-compassion is equally important when it comes to forgiving yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend who has made a mistake. Remember that no one is perfect, and you are worthy of forgiveness. You deserve peace, just like anyone else. Practice self-compassion by speaking kindly to yourself, acknowledging your efforts, and recognizing that you are deserving of love and forgiveness. Forgiveness is not just an emotional or psychological act. It has tangible benefits that extend into every area of your life. By forgiving yourself and others, you free yourself from the emotional burdens of the past and create space for growth, peace, and fulfillment. Here are some of the profound effects that forgiveness can have. Forgiveness heals emotional wounds. When you forgive, you release the energy and emotional weight that has been tied to your past hurt. You stop reliving the pain and the anger. And in doing so, you free yourself to experience joy, peace, and freedom in the present. Letting go of resentment and guilt makes room for positive emotions, such as love, hope, and gratitude, to enter your life. Forgiveness is an act of self-care that releases you from the emotional prison of your own anger and resentment. By forgiving, you are choosing to no longer let the past define you, and you regain control over your emotional well-being. This freedom allows you to move forward, unburdened, and ready to embrace the life that lies ahead. Forgiveness improves not only your relationship with yourself, but also your relationships with others. Holding grudges damages relationships by creating walls of distrust and anger. When you forgive, you open the door to healing these wounds and restoring connection. Forgiveness fosters trust, communication, and empathy, all of which are essential components of healthy relationships. By forgiving others, you also model compassion and understanding, which can help others in your life to be more forgiving as well. This creates a cycle of healing and kindness that ripples outward into your relationships, creating deeper connections and more harmonious interactions. One of the most profound effects of forgiveness is the inner peace it brings. When you release resentment, guilt, and fear, you remove the emotional blockages that keep you from feeling at peace. Forgiveness allows you to find a sense of calm, acceptance, and contentment, regardless of the past. It helps you embrace the present and focus on creating a future that is not overshadowed by old wounds. This sense of peace is not just about letting go of negative emotions, but about cultivating a mindset that values healing over holding on to grudges. Forgiveness helps you live in the present, rather than constantly reliving the past, and allows you to embrace life with an open heart. Forgiveness is not merely an emotional act. It is an act of liberation. It is the key to freeing yourself from the weight of past hurts, both from others and yourself. By embracing forgiveness, you release yourself from the shackles of resentment, guilt, and anger, allowing yourself to experience greater freedom, peace, and emotional healing. Forgiveness is the foundation for building healthier relationships, fostering self-compassion, and creating the emotional space needed for personal growth. When you forgive, you open the door to a future where you are no longer bound by the past. Our habits shape our lives more than we often realize. The daily choices we make, whether consciously or unconsciously, have a significant impact on our growth, well-being, and freedom. If you want to break free from old, limiting behaviors, creating new habits is one of the most powerful ways to do so. Positive habits are the foundation for a life of growth, fulfillment, and self-liberation. Habits are essentially the automatic behaviors we perform every day. They can either propel us toward our goals and help us grow, or they can hold us back, keeping us trapped in old patterns that no longer serve us. The key to breaking free from limiting behaviors lies in replacing old, unhelpful habits with new, positive ones. For example, if you tend to procrastinate on important tasks, you might replace that habit with setting daily priorities and breaking down tasks into smaller, manageable steps. To develop new habits, it's essential to understand the psychological aspects of habit formation. The process of forming new habits involves creating a cue, something that triggers the behavior, a routine, the action itself, and a reward, the benefit or satisfaction you gain from completing the behavior. By repeating this cycle consistently, new habits begin to feel natural and ingrained. For example, if you want to develop a habit of exercising regularly, your cue might be setting a specific time each day. Like first thing in the morning, your routine could be a 15-minute workout, and your reward could be the endorphins you feel afterward or the sense of accomplishment. Breaking old habits can be challenging, especially if those habits have been a part of your life for a long time. However, the key is not to try to stop an old habit cold turkey, but to replace it with something more empowering. For instance, if you find yourself falling into the habit of negative self-talk, start replacing those thoughts with affirmations or positive statements. Whenever a negative thought arises, consciously interrupt it by saying, "I am capable, I am worthy, and I am enough." By replacing limiting behaviors with positive habits, you begin to reshape your identity. Over time, these positive habits will become automatic, and you'll notice a significant shift in the way you approach challenges and opportunities in life. Building new habits is not just about making incremental changes in your routine. It's also about setting goals that align with your greater purpose and moving you closer to the life you want to live. Setting clear, meaningful goals gives you direction and helps you stay motivated as you work to create positive habits that will liberate you from old constraints. The first step in aligning your new habits with your greater purpose is to set clear and purposeful goals. These goals should reflect the life you want to create, whether that's improving your health, advancing in your career, or nurturing meaningful relationships. Make your goals specific, measurable, and achievable, and break them down into smaller steps. For example, if your goal is to become physically healthier, your new habit could be exercising for 30 minutes a day. But instead of focusing on the abstract idea of getting healthy, focus on specific actions such as choosing a workout plan, preparing healthy meals, or committing to walking daily. By setting specific goals, you create a roadmap that helps you stay on track and measure your progress. Once you have your goals in mind, align your new habits with your long-term vision. For instance, if your ultimate purpose is to lead a fulfilling, successful life, think about the habits that will get you there. These could include developing a habit of continuous learning, practicing gratitude, managing your time effectively, or cultivating meaningful relationships. The important thing here is to focus on the future. Instead of dwelling on the past or the habits that have held you back, shift your attention to what you want to create. Ask yourself, how do I want to feel in 6 months? What kind of person do I want to become? As you identify the habits that will help you align with your purpose, you can start taking actionable steps toward building those habits into your daily routine. One of the challenges in creating new habits is staying focused and committed over time. Distractions, setbacks, or feelings of discouragement may arise, but the key is to stay committed to your greater purpose. When you make habits that align with your long-term goals, you will find that your motivation and drive are enhanced. Keeping your why front and center, the reason you're making these changes, will give you the strength to keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. Creating new, positive habits has far-reaching benefits that can transform not just individual areas of your life, but your entire experience. Here are some of the most impactful benefits of adopting new habits. One of the greatest benefits of building new habits is the opportunity for personal growth. When you commit to creating empowering habits, you're actively investing in your own development. Whether it's learning new skills, improving your physical health, or fostering a positive mindset, every new habit contributes to your growth as a person. As you work on yourself, you begin to expand your capacity for success, happiness, and fulfillment. For example, practicing mindfulness or meditation regularly can help you develop emotional intelligence, enhance your self-awareness, and become more resilient to life's challenges. By making these positive habits part of your routine, you lay the foundation for a more balanced and peaceful life. Adopting healthy habits, such as regular exercise, better nutrition, and sleep hygiene, can drastically improve your physical health and overall well-being. Exercise, for instance, has numerous benefits, from improving cardiovascular health to boosting mental clarity and releasing endorphins that make you feel good. When you prioritize your health by creating habits that support it, you give yourself the energy and vitality needed to pursue your greater goals. Improved physical health often leads to better mental and emotional well-being, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward in all areas of life. When you begin to form positive habits, you're not only making positive changes in your life, you're also developing discipline and consistency. These qualities are essential for success in any area. The ability to stick with new habits, even when it's tough, builds mental fortitude and resilience. Over time, you become more confident in your ability to achieve your goals because you've learned to show up for yourself consistently. The process of building habits also teaches patience. You may not see results immediately, but over time, small changes add up, and you'll start to notice the benefits. Trusting the process and staying committed to your new habits is an essential part of breaking free from old patterns and creating lasting change. Habits don't just affect you, they also influence your relationships with others. When you build positive habits, like practicing empathy, active listening, and showing appreciation, your relationships with family, friends, and colleagues improve. By showing up consistently with love, respect, and kindness, you deepen your connections with others, fostering an environment where you and the people around you can thrive. Building habits around communication, such as regular check-ins with loved ones, can strengthen bonds and create deeper understanding. Positive relationships, in turn, support your growth and provide the encouragement needed to continue breaking free from limiting behaviors. As you develop new, empowering habits, you'll notice a natural boost in your confidence and self-worth. Every time you take a step toward your goals and show up for yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Small wins add up, and each accomplishment fuels your self-esteem, making it easier to continue progressing. Creating new habits is one of the most powerful ways to break free from old, limiting behaviors and empower yourself to live a more liberated life. By focusing on positive, growth-oriented habits, setting goals that align with your greater purpose, and staying committed to the process, you can transform your life in profound ways. The benefits of building new habits, from improved health and well-being to increased personal growth and confidence, are immeasurable. Start small, but think big, and remember that each new habit is a step closer to the life you truly want to live. Mental freedom is one of the most important and powerful aspects of personal growth. It refers to the ability to think clearly, act independently, and free yourself from mental constraints, including the limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns, and external influences that hinder your growth and happiness. Mental freedom is not just about what happens in your mind, but how that mind shapes your reality. When you experience mental freedom, you can make choices based on your true desires and values, not on fear, self-doubt, or past experiences. It allows you to step out of automatic reactions and think critically and consciously about the decisions you make. This type of freedom enables you to live authentically, unburdened by past conditioning, and empowered to create the life you truly want. Mental freedom is the foundation of personal liberation. Old bindings, whether they come from past trauma, cultural expectations, family pressure, or self-limiting beliefs, often reside within our minds. These bindings tell us that we are not good enough, not deserving of success, or incapable of change. Mental freedom allows us to free ourselves from these internal prisons by changing the way we think and, in turn, how we live our lives. Without mental freedom, we are controlled by our fears and negative thoughts, and we remain trapped in patterns that limit our growth and potential. The concept of mental freedom can be broken down into two main components: freedom in thought and freedom in action. Both of these are essential for breaking free from the old habits, beliefs, and behaviors that no longer serve you. The first step toward mental freedom is learning how to release limiting beliefs and negative thinking patterns. These mental patterns are the invisible chains that keep us tied to the past, preventing us from stepping into the future with confidence and clarity. Limiting beliefs are deeply ingrained thoughts that limit your potential. These beliefs often form in childhood or during formative years and are reinforced by past experiences. They may be beliefs such as, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "I'm not deserving of love." These beliefs shape how we approach challenges, relationships, and opportunities, often holding us back from stepping into our full potential. The first step in releasing limiting beliefs is to identify them. Start by reflecting on your thoughts and asking yourself, what do I believe about myself and my abilities? Pay attention to moments when you feel stuck or hesitant. These are often signs that a limiting belief is at play. Write down these beliefs and examine their origins. Ask yourself, where did this belief come from? And is it still true today? Once you've identified the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, the next step is to challenge them. Often, these beliefs are based on distorted or incomplete information. They are the result of past experiences, societal conditioning, or false conclusions we've drawn from certain events. The key to challenging negative thoughts is to question their validity. For example, if you think, "I'm not good enough to get that promotion," ask yourself, what evidence do I have that supports this belief? What evidence shows that I am capable and qualified for this opportunity? More often than not, you'll find that your negative belief is not based on facts, but on assumptions or past fears. The final step in freeing yourself from limiting beliefs is to replace them with more empowering beliefs. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," shift your belief to, "I am capable and worthy of success." Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, challenge it and replace it with a positive affirmation. This process of reframing your thoughts will gradually shift your mindset from one of limitation to one of empowerment. Remember, mental freedom doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent practice and intentionality. But the more you consciously choose empowering beliefs, the more you begin to reshape your reality and create the mindset that aligns with your true potential. The second essential component of mental freedom is freedom in action, the ability to make decisions for yourself and take control of your actions without being driven by fear, guilt, or external influences. Without freedom in action, even if your mind is free of limiting beliefs, you will continue to be bound by external pressures, such as societal expectations, the opinions of others, or feelings of obligation. True freedom in action starts with taking full responsibility for your choices. So often, we allow external factors to dictate our decisions. We might feel compelled to follow a certain career path because of family expectations, or stay in an unhealthy relationship because we fear being alone. But freedom comes when we recognize that we have the power to choose. You are not obligated to live a life that is dictated by others' expectations. You can make decisions that are in alignment with your values and desires. Taking responsibility for your choices means acknowledging that you are the one who decides how to respond to every situation. It's about giving yourself the permission to say no to things that don't serve you and saying yes to the opportunities that align with your true purpose. Once you take responsibility for your actions, you can step into your power and make choices that will lead you toward a life of freedom. One of the greatest obstacles to freedom in action is the fear of judgment or rejection from others. We often avoid taking action on our goals because we are afraid of what others might think, or we worry that we won't be accepted. This fear is paralyzing and keeps us stuck in a cycle of inaction. To overcome this fear, you must learn to trust your inner guidance and understand that you can't control others' opinions. Their judgment of you is based on their own fears, insecurities, and limited perspectives, not on your true worth. The more you embrace the idea that you are enough, just as you are, the less power other people's opinions will have over you. Taking action, despite fear or judgment, is a practice of bravery. It's about choosing to move forward with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. The more you make decisions based on your own desires and values, the more you'll strengthen your inner freedom. Freedom in action also means setting boundaries, knowing when to say no, and protecting your time, energy, and well-being. Boundaries are essential for maintaining mental freedom because they help you maintain control over your life. Without boundaries, we allow others to dictate how we spend our time, how we feel, and how we react. Start by identifying areas where you feel overwhelmed or resentful. Are you constantly saying yes to requests from others, even when you don't want to? Are you overcommitted or stretched too thin? These are signs that you need to set boundaries. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being rude or selfish. It simply means asserting your right to choose how you spend your time and energy. Practice saying no to things that don't align with your values or priorities. The more you set boundaries, the more you'll reclaim your power and experience the freedom that comes with living on your own terms. Achieving mental freedom, through both freedom in thought and freedom in action, is transformative. The benefits are profound and far-reaching, touching every aspect of your life. Mental freedom leads to greater emotional well-being. When you release limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, and the fear of judgment, you no longer carry the emotional burden of these mental chains. This creates greater peace of mind, reduces stress, and enables you to feel more centered and balanced. The more you take control of your thoughts and actions, the more confident you become. You trust your decisions and your ability to handle whatever life throws at you. Confidence comes from knowing that you can create the life you want, free from the limitations of fear and doubt. Mental freedom is essential for personal growth. When you free yourself from the limitations of your mind, you open up to new possibilities. You no longer feel constrained by the past or by the expectations of others. You become empowered to explore new opportunities, take risks, and step into your full potential. As you release limiting beliefs and practice freedom in action, your relationships also improve. Setting boundaries, embracing your true self, and acting from a place of self-respect allows you to connect more deeply with others. You become more authentic and confident in your relationships, and those around you are more likely to respect and honor your needs. Mental freedom is not a luxury, it's a necessity for breaking free from old bindings and living a life of fulfillment and joy. By freeing your mind from limiting beliefs, confronting your fears, and taking control of your actions, you create the space for personal transformation and growth. Freedom in thought and action gives you the power to make decisions based on your true desires, not external influences or past conditioning. Ultimately, mental freedom is the key to living the life you were meant to live. A life of choice, possibility, and limitless potential. There is a distinct feeling that comes with breaking free from old bindings, a feeling of emotional lightness and relief. Imagine the sensation of walking through life carrying a heavy backpack, filled with all of your past fears, regrets, guilt, and limiting beliefs. The weight of this burden affects not just your body but your mind, making every step feel more laborious and every decision more complicated. When you begin to shed those long-held burdens, it's like finally taking that backpack off your shoulders and feeling the lightness of freedom. This emotional relief is profound. It's the release of years of tension, of internal conflict that has held you captive in patterns that didn't serve you. You might have felt bound by fear of failure, resentment toward others, guilt over past mistakes, or perhaps feelings of unworthiness. These emotions weigh heavily on your psyche, often without you even realizing just how much they've been controlling your life. The first moments of liberation feel almost like a breath of fresh air, a deep, fulfilling inhale that clears the emotional fog and gives you clarity. It's like suddenly seeing life in full color after having lived in shades of gray. When you let go of these old bindings, your mind becomes free to explore possibilities instead of being consumed by the weight of past trauma or self-doubt. The emotional freedom that comes from letting go of these old emotions allows you to be more present and engaged in life, experiencing each moment with a sense of ease and lightness. This newfound sense of lightness comes with an overwhelming feeling of relief, a feeling that you no longer need to carry the weight of the past. The emotional energy that was once spent on maintaining old patterns can now be channeled into more constructive and fulfilling activities. You begin to feel freer, more alive, and more in touch with your true self. When you break free from the things that have been holding you back, whether it's fear, limiting beliefs, or old emotional wounds, your self-confidence flourishes. Liberation from these constraints opens the door to new possibilities, and with it, the confidence to explore the unknown and pursue your goals with courage and determination. Before breaking free, many of us operate from a place of self-doubt or insecurity. We question our abilities, hold back from opportunities, or play it safe because we are afraid of failure or rejection. These fears, rooted in past experiences or negative beliefs, create an invisible wall between us and the life we truly desire. When we shed those old bindings, we release the power that fear and doubt have held over us. The fear of being judged or failing diminishes because we realize that we are no longer defined by our past mistakes or limitations. We are free to define our own worth and abilities. With this newfound freedom, your self-confidence begins to soar. You realize that you are capable of facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, and handling whatever comes your way. The more you step into this new space of liberation, the more you trust yourself. You begin to understand that the only limitations that exist are the ones you place on yourself. As you continue to experience small successes, you reaffirm your confidence and reinforce the belief that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. Self-assurance grows organically as you witness the transformation within yourself. You are no longer afraid to take risks, speak your truth, or pursue your passions. You trust your instincts and decisions because you now see yourself as worthy and capable. With this level of self-assurance, You can embrace new opportunities without hesitation, knowing that you have the strength and resilience to succeed. Perhaps one of the most exciting aspects of breaking free from old bindings is the unlimited potential it brings. When we no longer feel held back by fear, limiting beliefs, or the expectations of others, we open ourselves to explore new avenues and create new possibilities. The sense of freedom you experience allows you to take risks, pursue creative ideas, and engage in endeavors that were once unimaginable, because you are no longer constrained by past limitations. As you free yourself from old constraints, doors that were once closed begin to open. Whether it's a new career path, a new relationship, or a new personal project, the possibilities feel endless. This happens because freedom allows you to make decisions based on your true desires, rather than being influenced by fear or the opinions of others. Imagine a time when you felt stuck in a situation, perhaps a job that drained you, a relationship that held you back, or a place in life where you didn't feel you were growing. Once you start breaking free from these old bindings, the doors to new experiences, new challenges, and new opportunities begin to open. You become more willing to explore the unknown, step outside your comfort zone, and trust that you have the ability to create the life you want. The freedom to explore also gives you the ability to pursue your passions without fear. Many people stay stuck in careers or relationships that are unfulfilling because they are too afraid to take the leap into something new. However, mental and emotional freedom enables you to take risks and make decisions that align with your values and desires. You begin to see the world as full of opportunities, and you become more willing to pursue them. Creativity thrives when you are free from constraints, both external and internal. When you are burdened by fear, self-doubt, or limiting beliefs, it's difficult to tap into your creativity. These emotional weights block the flow of ideas and inspiration. However, when you break free from these bindings, you allow your creativity to flow freely. You are no longer hindered by the fear of judgment or failure, and this creates an environment where your creativity can truly flourish. Whether your creative pursuits are in art, writing, entrepreneurship, or even problem-solving in your personal life, freedom gives you the confidence to express yourself and take action on your ideas. You no longer worry about being perfect or making mistakes. Instead, you embrace the process of creation and understand that each step is a learning experience. The freedom to explore your creativity also allows you to think outside the box, find innovative solutions, and express yourself authentically. Ultimately, the feeling of freedom leads to greater success, both personally and professionally. Success isn't just about achieving external goals. It's about feeling fulfilled, empowered, and aligned with your true self. When you break free from old bindings, you create the space for success to flow into your life naturally. You're no longer constrained by doubts or limiting beliefs that prevent you from reaching your full potential. Success looks different for everyone, but one common thread is the sense of freedom that comes with it. Whether it's the freedom to pursue your dreams without fear, the freedom to express yourself authentically, or the freedom to make choices that align with your values, this type of success is deeply fulfilling. As you embrace the feeling of freedom, you unlock the potential to achieve greater success, not just in external measures, but in your overall well-being and sense of purpose. The feeling of freedom that comes when you break free from old bindings is transformative. It is a feeling of lightness, as you release the burdens of past fears and limiting beliefs, and a newfound confidence that allows you to embrace life with courage and self-assurance. This freedom opens the door to countless opportunities for growth, creativity, and success. When you're no longer held back by the past, you can explore new possibilities, create without fear, and ultimately achieve a deeper level of fulfillment in all areas of your life. Breaking free is not just about letting go of the past, but about embracing the exciting, limitless future that awaits when you fully step into your freedom. Breaking free from old bindings is a journey of change and self-discovery. Every step you take in this process is an opportunity to renew yourself and move closer to the life you truly desire, one that is filled with freedom, fulfillment, and possibility. By identifying and releasing the fears, limiting beliefs, and patterns that have been holding you back, you unlock your true potential and open the door to a brighter future. Remember, this journey doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, where each small change builds upon the next, creating momentum toward a life of greater freedom and alignment with your true purpose. The key is to take that first step, no matter how small. It's never too late to begin this transformation. You have the power to change, to evolve, and to create the life you want, starting today. So, I encourage you to take immediate action. Start your journey today by making small, intentional changes that bring you closer to your goals. Whether it's shifting your mindset, creating new habits, or forgiving yourself and others, every choice you make today is a step toward a life of greater freedom and fulfillment. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who may benefit from this message. Share your thoughts or stories in the comments. I'd love to hear how you're breaking free from your own bindings and what steps you're taking on your journey. Come back for the next video, where we'll continue exploring ways to live a life that aligns with your true potential. Thank you for being here, and remember, your journey to freedom starts now.